Welcome to the 4MileCircus, the official podcast of 4MileCircus, which is a media production and social media services company based in Brooklyn. Check us out at 4MileCircus.com. That's the number 4, followed by the word Mile Circus. My name is Sean Mannion. I'm a writer-director in Brooklyn.
And I'm Nicole. I'm the other half of 4MileCircus and a writer, director, producer based in Brooklyn. On this podcast, we will talk to independent artists and media makers about their relationships with social media. If you like what you hear, please subscribe on iTunes or your platform of choice and give us a 5-star review. It really helps spread the word about the show.
We have a slightly different episode for you this week as we attended the Axe Wound Film Festival in Brattleboro, Vermont, where we presented our social media and crowdfunding strategies and realities workshop to attendees. We watched a lot of fun and often scary horror films at the event, including the dark comedy Dolly Deadly by filmmaker Heidi Moore. We sat down with Heidi and talked with her about the film and her crowdfunding process for the film, her social media strategies in promoting the film. But before we get into our conversation with Heidi, Nicole has a timely social media tip for you.
Hey, my social media tip of the episode today is about self-care. I am recording this on a very shitty day. It is Wednesday, November 9th, 2016, and the United States has just elected an orange Nazi, so yeah, it's been a rough day for a lot of us, and there will be rough days ahead. And the last thing you need to be stressing about right now is social media. So, as we've said before, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to unplug for a while. We need to have you here for the long haul, and so you need to take care of yourself. So if you just feel like it's a bad idea for you to be on social media right now for whatever reason, just fuck it. If you need to schedule some posts, if you really need to get some info out there, but otherwise, whatever, your brand building can wait. It is fine. If you want to be on social media, but you want to have a little bit more control of it, you can consider locking your Twitter and Instagram and other accounts that lock like that temporarily if you want to be on social media talking to a limited circle of people, but you can't deal with Trump supporters jumping in your mentions. If you want to talk about the election or anything like that, you can always go public again later. While we generally don't advise people who are trying to promote their work to lock their Twitter or Instagram accounts because it limits who can see and share your posts, you can still communicate effectively with everyone who follows you already if it's locked, and new people can follow you and you can approve them, and you're not going to grow as fast or have as wide a reach. But I mean, if it makes the difference for you between using social media or not comfortably, just go for it. Your mental health is more important than maximizing engagements. Lupe Fiasco goes back and forth all the time between locked and public Twitter accounts. You're allowed to do it. Do whatever you need to do. And on Facebook, there are a lot of options for what you can do with your privacy settings, creating different filters. Obviously, posts can be public or friends only, or friends plus their friends, or custom groups you can create for like all your family members or all your coworkers, or in whatever way you might want to categorize people in your social circle in terms of thinking about who you want to see what. But anyway, you can use those to limit who can see things you post. But you can also limit what you're seeing from your friends. You can choose from the little pull down menu to see fewer posts like this. You can also unfollow friends if you don't want to unfriend them. So this is on Facebook, you unfollow rather than unfriending them. And their stuff just won't show up on your timeline unless you refollow them. And they won't know either way. So, I mean, if you really just don't need to be seeing someone's content right now or ever, but you don't want to make the statement that might be perceived of unfriending them, it's an easy thing to do. Just do it. And I mean, across platforms, it's generally okay to mute people. It's okay to block people. It's okay to unfollow or unfriend people. There are enough scary things in the world. If possible, social media promotion should not be one of them. And if it is not better to burn out than just step away, at least for a little bit. Do what you need to do, and we at 4MileCircus support you fully. And if you want more tips, advice, and info on some of the ways we can help you with more specific social media assistance, you can always visit 4MileCircus.com. And now let's get to something more fun than catastrophic elections. It is Sean Mannion talking to the marvelous filmmaker of Dolly Deadly, Heidi Moore, at the amazing event that was the 2016 Axe Wound Film Festival.
We're in Brattleboro, Vermont, and we just finished up the day at the Axe Wound Film Festival, and we saw a film called Dolly Deadly from Heidi Moore, and I'm talking to her now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what is Dolly Deadly?
It's a feature film. It's supposed to be a comedy. Once I finished it, I wasn't sure if people would be able to tell if it's a comedy or not. Mm-hmm. I think they did. They can.
I definitely read it that way.
Okay, good.
It's a dark comedy.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's supposed to be funny. It's kind of, a social commentary. I'm sure everyone's experienced something from that. People who have grown up maybe in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. It's just, social commentary, dark comedy, drama, has a bit of horror in it.
Yeah. It's got kind of a slasher vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's and so it's about a young boy named Benji who plays with dolls, basically, and is not appreciated by his family for that, harassed a lot.
Yeah, he's made fun of a lot because that's it's like a girly thing to do.
Right.
His family or everyone's like, little boys shouldn't be playing with dolls. They need, So his stepdad or step grandpa gives him this stack of dirty magazines to be like, here, look at these, be a man, stop messing with these dolls.
Right. And so where did the idea for the film come from? Because it was not just the storyline, but also one of the things that I particularly loved about watching the film is you have these surreal cutaway fantasy scenes. Sometimes they're dreams, but they're these great, just vivid, I guess is the word that comes to mind. Fantasy scenes. Where does this come from?
Well, the little boy doesn't really have a very happy life at home. Mm-hmm. And so he finds peace in his dreams. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of in his head, in his happy place.
Yeah. And they definitely sort of have that vibe. They stand out very, very much from the rest of the narrative. So normally on the podcast we talk about, we focus a lot on social media and we focus a lot on crowdfunding. And you and I were talking earlier, you did not crowdfund for this
Yes,
feature.
We did.
You did crowdfund for this
we
feature.
did crowdfund. We did crowdfunding for this. We made $3,000.
Okay.
And then the rest was I paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so $10,000 budget. We got $3,000 on Kickstarter.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was the process like for that? Was your goal was for 3,000 on Kickstarter, and then? Yeah,
we did a low goal.
Okay.
Because we didn't want to, say we want $20,000 and then get $100 or something.
Right.
We were definitely not as organized as you guys were talking about earlier. We did have some plans and stuff, but definitely not as as put together as what you guys were suggesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd ever do crowdfunding again.
Okay.
It was not even my friends. It was from strangers that gave us the most money, and my own friends didn't even put in $1.
Oh,
so
that's rough.
I'm learning now not to take things personally.
Sure.
But I mean, $1. You have $1. I know you have a frickin' dollar. Like, give me it.
Right. It's that can be difficult. When it's like your project and it's something like, well, I thought we were friends. I thought we were, like, don't you care that I care about doing this thing? That can be very difficult. I just did want to give a little context. You were referring to the planning that we talked about. We did, Nicole and I did at the Axewound Festival a social media and crowdfunding workshop this afternoon, and you had some good points, I think, during it, because I like that you're kind of coming from this other perspective. We've talked to a lot of people on the podcast here who've come from a perspective of having done like a whole bunch of crowdfunding campaigns for like large amounts, and you're kind of talking about like sort of the more scrappy is the word coming to mind. It's like, okay, we're going to raise this much amount of money, and then we're just going to go out and make the film and fund the rest out of pocket. And I think that's a relatable perspective for a lot of people.
Well, yeah, because we're like, we're going to take what we can get, and we'll make it work for whatever we get.
Right.
So, I mean, because, a script is a living thing. Like, you can change it. Like, so say you have, $5,000. You plan accordingly for $5,000. If you happen to get more, then great, you can add more to it, but you need to be ready to do it either way. Like, you need to be ready to say, well, looks like we're not going to be making like some big fancy head explosion. It's going to look a little bit crappier. That's fine. Because so many people, they think, well, I don't really have all the money, so I can't make it. If you have that kind of attitude, then you're not going to make anything ever. Like you make it. You just make it. You take whatever money you have and make it work.
I think that's a great attitude to take with making films, especially because of the ecosystem of it. I mean, sometimes, you want to make it a certain way, and so then you got to put in that, you got to go out and you got to get that thing. But if your goal is to make a film, you can see how you can adapt.
Yeah. And if you want it a certain way and it's important, you need the money for that, then you go get whatever crappy day job, and you eat top ramen for a couple months only. Live in a cheap apartment, whatever you need to do, like cut your expenses, and you earn that money and put it toward your film, or otherwise it's not that important. Like, why should everyone else pay for like this, vision that you have if you're like, no, it has to be this way? Well, then guess what? Go get the money. Go to work and hand over your paycheck like everybody else.
How long did it take to make the film?
It took for the feature film, it took 2 years.
Okay. And that was all shooting, or like?
No, we had to take a break.
Okay.
A lot of things happened. Like last October, my apartment burnt down.
Oh shit.
And so it's like a lot of life setbacks, like I live in a small town, and so it's like it's a matter of, you're kind of at the mercy of other people's schedules. Yeah. And so it's like we kind of have to wait until we can get everyone here certain times, where it's like, okay, we're going to do a big shoot for 3 days. And then we'll take a break. I'll get little things myself in between, and then next time I have enough money, we'll do another big shoot. Stuff like that. So.
And I think kind of what you mentioned just then reminds me. You shot the film.
Yes.
You directed the film. You did many of the jobs on the film, is what it looks like, and that kind of.
I made the main character.
Yes, you.
I
in
literally.
In the most literal way.
Yes.
Your son, both of your sons,
yes.
are in the film.
Yeah.
So you and you made many of the props and things as well. Is that correct? So you're just making everything that's on screen.
Well, I mean, you're working, and you can't make other people be motivated. So if you start seeing somebody like starting to flake or being lazy, you're like, guess what? You're out. I'll do it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I can do everything. I just don't want to.
Right,
You know?
right.
So it's like if someone starts fucking around. Oh, can I say that? Okay. Okay. Well, I mean,
We
if
swear
someone
a
starts
lot.
fucking around and it's like, you know what? Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do it myself because I know I'll get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't waste time waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just do it myself. And sometimes someone else does it and I should have just done it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready. I'm prepared to take over anything if I need to.
Okay. Can you tell us about your relationship to social media? How have you used it to promote the film? Was it helpful when you did do that crowdfunding campaign?
Well, so social media, I live in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mentioned before, during the questions, I worked with people all over the world on this movie,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And I met them all through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like I met so many people and I work with them on like, they send me the person who made the score lives in the UK. One of the actors is from India. I just meet so many people through like Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and things like that to work with. And that's just been so important. And also I live in a small town. I don't live around everybody. So I use social media to keep in contact, to promote, to network. I'm on there, unfortunately, all day. I don't know. You guys probably know what that's like. But especially
definitely
promoting Dolly Deadly, I am on everywhere. All the different social medias, all the time, promoting and thinking of new ways to promote new ideas. Like I met somebody who makes bath bombs, and so now Dolly Deadly has a custom bath bomb that we just put out.
Oh, that's great.
Based on the scene with the blue doll with the glitter and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. And it's called Kill Them All. And it has a new beer that just got put out from Brew Rebellion in San Bernardino, and it's called Sweet Mommy Juice from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that's
and
great.
it's like a sour cherry tart ale.
That sounds good.
And I meet these people through social media. I contact them, and
Yeah.
a lot of people actually respond to their like Facebook or Instagram messages a lot more than their emails.
Mm-hmm.
So and one good thing is that you can see if people have read your messages,
Right.
and they cannot lie to you and say, "Oh, I didn't see it. I'm not really on here that much." Bullshit.
Right.
I saw you read my message. I see you on Facebook. I see your post about you and your girlfriend going on a date. So,
So lesson for anybody listening: if Heidi messages you, just message her back. Just do it, because she's watching.
I know.
She's like Santa Claus.
I know what you're doing.
She's like Santa Claus, and she has a beer based on her film, which makes me like the film even more. So. No, that's great, and that's a great example of like using social media to not just connect with people, but like collaborate beyond the project to like build out the project beyond its scope of just being a film and into other things that people can be interested in, which was a little bit of what we talked about in our presentation about sort of going where the audience is, and I imagine at least some of the audience drinks. So. We do. We can make up for. Oh yeah, trust us. We can make up for most of the people that don't. But that's fascinating. That's well, as it's wrapping up here, let's go into just so people can see Dolly Deadly now online.
Yes.
Where can they see it?
It's available for rent on Vimeo on demand.
Mm-hmm.
It will be for rent on a new website coming out in the next few days called I Bleed Indie.
Okay.
Which is a new VOD website. They actually they rent out short films and feature films, independent horrors.
Oh, very
so if
cool.
anybody has any movies, contact them. You can
Okay.
find them really easy on Facebook. I Bleed Indie.
I believe.
And yeah, because I know a lot of people have short films that they're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this.
Right,
Besides put
right.
it on YouTube or like post it on Facebook a couple times. Because I know I do. And so it's like a way, like it's not like you're going to make a lot of money because it's like, doesn't cost that much to rent the short films.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's out there. It's on VOD. So that's like a cool thing, you know?
Right. That's fantastic.
And then it's available to buy on leglesscorpsefilms.com on DVD and Blu-ray. And then later this month, it'll be available on VHS through Magnetic Magic Rentals. And so by the end of the year, it's supposed to be available in more places like Amazon Prime, iTunes, things like that.
That's fantastic. So let's do the game that we do with people the first time they're on the show. The default game. Okay. So what we do, you shouldn't be. It's easy. We just like to talk to people about what their favorite thing is right now.
What the fuck?
Could be literally anything. Somebody said candy.
My favorite thing right now.
You're like excited about.
Yeah.
We can go first if you want.
Yeah, you guys go first.
Okay.
My favorite thing right now is being at the Axwoon Film Festival with wonderful people like Heidi Moore and Ashley Blackwell and Hannah Neurotica and all the wonderful women filmmakers and writers and horror community members who I love to see. And this is my favorite film festival. And yeah, that's my favorite thing.
That was a long answer. I don't know if I can beat that.
My favorite thing right now is it's a toss-up. It's either the magician scene in your movie or the first fantasy scene where he's like tap dancing. It was
Yeah,
tap
he was
dancing.
tap dancing.
It was those two. Those two right now are my favorite. Not just because I have only a very short-term memory, but also
Well,
because I
haven't you
really
ever
enjoyed
wanted
both.
to, like, when I was a kid, I remember just like tapping in the bathroom or in
I'm
the
sure I did.
kitchen, and my mom's like, "Get the fuck out of there!"
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like going, and it's like I don't even know how to do it, but like it sounds cool. So that's like I wanted to do that, and plus, there's I don't want to get into a long story, but Justin, who plays Benji, when he was little, I bought him a pair of tap shoes at the thrift store. Because I was like, hell yeah, I would be so happy if my mom brought these home. They're
Right.
girls' shoes. Who cares? Like, you're going to tap in the bathroom. So he wore them to the park because he was really excited. And he came home, and he was sad, and he was changing his shoes. And I asked him why, and he said that some dad was making fun of him at the park for wearing girls' shoes.
For fuck's sake.
So that was one of the things in the movie where it's like that's a goddamn adult. Like it's not like some kids bullying him at the fucking park. It's the dad.
Yeah.
And that parent is showing their kid this is how you treat people. And it made me really sad because he was so excited about those shoes.
Yeah.
And he never wore them again.
That's horrible.
So that's why I wanted
dad
to put
is
in
a
that
jerk
tap
face.
dancing scene. Also because he's like imagining himself, like, you know, he's like doesn't even know how to tap dance, but he's imagining himself like being really good at it and
Yeah.
everything. So
It was delightful. It was a really nice way to kind of get into him because the movie starts when he's younger, but like once we're introduced to him at that point, I feel like it's a really good introduction to him.
I'm gonna say my favorite thing. One thing, I'm not copying you.
No, it's fine. You can be,
You can.
I'm not though. I really enjoy meeting other filmmakers, just all these creative people, because I do live in a small town and I get to talk to people on Facebook and whatever, but it's really great seeing everybody's movies and just seeing what other people are creating. That's been really awesome for me. But then another favorite thing that's been making me really happy lately is that this movie, like the main actor is my son, and it's like a forever memory that I'll always have of him when he, like, of a little boy. And there's been all this art that's being made because the movie's being put out, or the soundtrack and the score are being put out on vinyl. Oh, sweet. And there's these artists, Deju and, oh gosh, I can't remember everyone's name, but they're making the art for it, and it's so cool. And it's Justin, because he's Benji. And so I have all this art that's of him. And so I know other people see it and it's like a Benji, but like it's like all this art of my son that I get to have forever. Yeah. So that's my favorite thing.
That's great.
That's awesome. And
that's great.
Very heartwarming also.
We had to have a heartwarming moment on the show at some point. At some point. I hope some of what you said got picked up.
I said it was heartwarming. I'm usually loud.
You are loud.
I feel like I am just yelling into this microphone.
Oh, it's fine. I've got the thing. In fact, I would rather that you were higher because not higher than you are, but like that it was registering higher because I can always bring it down. And I just said that like way away, but it doesn't matter. So where can we find you on the social media and the internets?
Yeah, the social media. I'm on Facebook under Heidi Moore. That's me. And Wretched Productions. And then there's a Dolly Deadly Facebook. You just type in Dolly Deadly and it'll show up. I'm sure you all know how to use Facebook by now. And on Instagram, it's Dolly Deadly _ because somebody else took the Dolly Deadly name. And I'm actually thinking about messaging her and telling her, you are not Dolly Deadly. I am. Or whatever the movie is.
Right.
So turn off your profile and
give up your username.
Yeah. I don't even think it works that way. But
I think if you change it, it would open up. Can't you change it?
No, because even if you have like a profile, like for my normal personal Instagram, one time I deleted it, and then I did it again, and it wouldn't let me use that name exactly, so I had to put an _. That's my thing I use. So Dolly Deadly _ on Instagram. And if you want to find my personal account, it's the coolest Heidi _ because there's too many Heidi Moores, and I was like, damn it, everyone's taking my name. Well, I'm the coolest Heidi, and this was like years ago. Sure. So I came up with this, and I just stuck with it because it's easy. And then Twitter is Wretched Productions. I don't use that a whole lot. I don't really understand Twitter that much. So sometimes I'll like post things and then I retweet people's stuff. I don't know. Otherwise, what else to do?
Do you have a website?
Yes, I have a website. It's wretchedproductions.com. And then my email address is awretchedproduction@gmail.com because somebody else has wretchedproductions@gmail.com. So
they're just squandering it.
I'm tired of it.
And we're still 4MileCircus, 4MileCircus.com, 4MileCircus on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And Tumblr too.
Oh, we never update the Tumblr, but we're on Tumblr too. Tumblr's mostly
when I
just
hear
porn
about
anyway.
Tumblr, I imagine like somebody rolling down, like, I don't know, down something.
I mean, it is definitely rolling downhill commentary.
I have a Tumblr. I made it like one day. I've only been on there like one day.
It's mostly just like fandoms for different TV shows and porn.
And also Reddit. I tried to do a Reddit account and I just don't even know how to do it.
I don't have a total grasp of Reddit. I have one and occasionally I've posted stuff there, but I don't have enough interest in it.
I listened to the was it the No Sleep podcast on there?
Oh, okay.
Have you guys heard of it? It's like they read stories, like scary stories. On Reddit they have like a thing where people can post short stories, scary stories.
Okay.
And so now the podcast produces them. They have actors reading the story and they have sound design and music. And it's kind of cool. So that's the only thing I really know about Reddit. Otherwise, I just don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know what to do with platform, might as well just like stick with the ones that you're like, I get this
Instagram
one and do it well.
Instagram and Facebook, I got.
Yeah.
And email. I know how to email.
That's the most important one.
Yeah, email is probably the most important one.
And I know how to use a phone.
Okay, so that one, you got one up on me with that one because I don't know how to use the phone. I'm really terrible on the phone, and
That's true, he is.
and I've met plenty of people who are terrible at email.
I'm really bad at leaving voicemails.
Everyone
Like, I start getting like, oh my God, I need to stop. Like, should I just hang up? Because this is getting so awkward.
When I'm cognizant, when I feel like I have it figured out, I'm like, okay, I have my pattern. I have, hi, this is me. This is my phone number. This is why I'm calling. This is me. This is my name, and this is my phone number. Thank you. Bye. That's it. I'm just like, okay.
I start saying all kinds of shit where I'm like, I need to stop.
I do that too. I get made fun of. My sister makes fun of me all the time. She's like, do you know what you sound like on voicemail? Do you know how long you go on and all the digressions you go down? I can't listen to your full messages. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I'm very ashamed at my bad voicemail skills. So I feel you.
So I start telling myself, just hang up, just stop, hang up. I don't know.
No, that's kind of me too. Then I panic and bye. It's just like done.
And that's why they invented text messaging.
Yes.
So you can just type it, and then delete it, and then retype, and then delete, and then retype again and again, and that's what I do. What?
It's usually better to just use
Oh yeah, my friend Don and I, he plays the comedian.
Uh-huh.
We actually communicate in mainly emojis and GIFs.
Oh, gifts.
Like
yeah.
he'll say something to me, and I'll just like respond with like, what GIF would be the best response for this?
I have a folder of gifts on my phone, which it's not very many. I have Han Solo saying "I know" from Empire Strikes Back, which I use both literally for when when the appropriate response is "I know," and when somebody says they love me. Han Solo saying "I know" GIF. Sometimes I respond with that. Yeah, fine. I'll wrap it up, Nicole.
Was it like cut it out?
Yeah. Cut
It
out.
Uncle
Dave
Joey.
Coulier.
Yeah.
And from
I-
Out of This World before that was on Full House. Do you remember Out of This
Yeah,
World?
there's full episodes on YouTube that I watch often.
Really?
Yes.
Of Out of This World.
Do you
Oh,
know
yeah.
Out of This World?
Yeah,
It
it
is?
sounds
You
familiar.
go like this.
Yeah.
And like this. So
Well,
you can't see
You-
what we're
you need to
doing,
show it
but
to
we're like explaining how to do magic, alien magic on Out of This World in
Which
the
is
80s.
yes, it was a Nickelodeon. I watched it on Nickelodeon. Kids show in the 80s.
It sounds super familiar.
She like talks to her dad who lives on the moon.
I-
Wait, we gotta wrap this up.
we have to wrap this up. So I am not a cool kid. That was our conversation with Heidi Moore at the Axewood Film Festival. Which check out her film Dolly Deadly, which is available in all sorts of formats all over the internet. Okay, goodbye. If you like what you heard, please subscribe on iTunes or your podcast platform of choice, and check out other 4 Mile Circus services and projects at 4MileCircus.com, as well as 4 Mile Circus on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Watch our first VOD release, Nicole's award-winning feminist phone sex horror comedy Small Talk, at 4MileCircus.com/store,